To remove the seat, you're going to need the key. So you got two locks back here. This one is a helmet lock. To remove the seat, it's this upper key here. Put the key in. Now before you try to turn the key, push down on the seat. Put some notable pressure into it because there's little rubber grommets in there and you need to compress them down. Otherwise, you'll be putting a ton of load on that tiny little key. So push down, turn the key to the right, lift up the back of the seat just like that. Ta-da, should come right off of there. To remove the gas tank, I'm going to take a 10mm socket to these back two mounting bolts here. This is your overflow line. Pull that thing off of there. Boop, just like that. We're going to set that off to the side there. And we're going to take our 4mm Allen, and we're going to take these two screws out. A lot of these have cool, weird little washers behind them. Don't lose those, they're important. Then from there, you can just grab this thing and pull it away from the gas tank like that. You're also going to take this 4mm Allen out. Or 4mm Allen wrench screwed. It's probably 6mm, but whatever. Once you get that screw out of there, grab the panel by the bottom, pull it out a little bit. There's a little rubber grommet right here. Boop, pull that off. Pull the one out in the back. Comes off just like that. Set that in a safe and clean location. Set that down there. And down there. You can pull this away from your bike there. Some little bosses that this comes off of. There's a little rubber grommet here. Don't lose that. You're going to need that. Take this screw out here. Pull the front off. Pull the back off. Carefully. Boop, boop. Should pop right off of there, just like that. Alright, I don't know if you can see or not, but your positions on your petcock are reserve, on, off. We're going to turn this to off. Now, gas might not come out of there even if you don't turn it off, because it's a vacuum-operated petcock. Find your needle nose pliers. You can take this little clamp here, scooch her on down, pull your vacuum line off your petcock. It doesn't easily come off. Get a little flathead screwdriver behind it. Don't stab yourself in the finger, it hurts. Then from there, you can take this fuel line off. You may or may not have a fuel filter here. You can undo it up here at the clamp or undo it at the fuel filter. Either way, make sure you have some rags on hand because a little bit of gas is coming out of there. So we're going to shove some rags right in there. And we're going to take this clamp, squeeze it with some needle nose pliers, slide it on down, and should hopefully be able to take this rubber line, either pull it off. If it has been on there a long time, you might have to cut it and replace the hose. Now, this one's pretty good. Now we're even going to take a minute here and drain all the fuel that's in the fuel filter into the rag. That way it does not go all over the paint job. Make sure it's loose and free on the other side. Lift the back of the tank. Move the tank towards the back of the motorcycle. Whoop. Should lift up off of there. Also helps immensely if the tank is almost empty. If it's almost full, you're going to get some isometric exercises in. Set this in a clean and safe location. To get your spark plug boots off, you're going to want to grab the boot itself. Don't grab the wire out here. You'll pull it out. Grab the boot there. Get your fingertips underneath the thing. Wiggle it back and forth. Should slide up out of there. Ta-da, just like that. When you pull it out, make sure you grab this hard plastic thing here. Twist it, then wiggle it back and forth. Don't grab the wire right here. You'll pull it out. If you do pull it out, you can probably thread it back in there, but you don't want to do that. Same process for the other side. Just like that. Find your spark plug socket. Oh, it's the 5/8. From there, break them free. They should spin right up out of there. Once it's free, carefully lift it up there. Hopefully your spark plug socket still has the little rubber grommet in it. This one doesn't. Let's try the other one. If you don't have a rubber grommety spark plug, you can use a long telescoping magnet. If you're like me, maybe you lost your long telescoping magnet. You may have to use a long pair of needle nose pliers. Oh, that's not working. Long pair of needle nose pliers were the key. Our spark plugs overall look pretty good there. No real gripes on that one. Might be a tad bit rich, but nothing we're going to mess with. Looks pretty good. Check the gap on your spark plugs. You can get a little spark plug gapping tool. They sell them at your local auto parts store. Or you can use feeler gauges, but you'll see like a graduated scale on here. You know, the numbers increase, and this little outer rib here gets thicker as you go. So you can slide that gap in there, and then just rotate it around, and hopefully it stops at your gap, your desired gap. If you want it to go bigger, you can take the tool or a little small screwdriver and put it in there and bend it open. Be very careful. It does not take a lot to break these things, and they are very soft metal. If it's too big, I like to push on this with like a piece of wood or something, or like a pencil. You want to bend that metal tab back down to close up that little gap there. Don't push too hard. It's easy to overdo it. A lot of people will tell you, oh, they're pre-gapped from the factory. Listen, that's only as good as the exploited child labor kid who gapped it in the first place. So double check them. Now, before you put the spark plug back in, put a little motor oil on the threads. That's going to help lubricate the threads and keep the spark plug from baking in there. And take your spark plug and put it back down there. If it drops out a lot, it's really nice if your spark plug socket still has the rubber grommet in there, because then when you put the spark plug in, it stays in there and doesn't slide out. This one does not. I probably should get a new one. So we are going to take this with some needle nose pliers. Oh, when you get your new spark plugs, make sure you unthread the cap up off of here, otherwise the boots won't go on. So we're going to take some needle nose pliers and we're going to ever so carefully lower that thing down in there. And then with the lightest touch, we are going to slide the spark plug socket down in there, and we are going to lightly spin it in place. We are using 2 fingers of force. All right, if it binds up, something is wrong. Do not force this. This should never take a whole bunch of wrenching force with 2 hands. It should thread back in there very gently. Then you can either snug it up with your ratchet, or I prefer, torque it to spec. If you don't have a torque wrench, it's a good investment. However, you're only trying to get that spark plug to seal. You don't have to kill it. It's not going anywhere. You just want it to seal up in there. So Tell people the kind of hillbilly way to check it. The hillbilly trick I always used was grab the ratchet here and tighten it up. And right about the time you can see where you're like squishing tissue there on your hand, that's tight enough. Doesn't need to be any tighter than that. Pull a little bit of dielectric grease down in here. There's none in here. Take a little bit of non-conductive grease. It's called dielectric grease. Or they call it spark plug grease or spark plug light bulb boot grease, whatever. It's a non-conductive grease. You put it down in there, it will keep the moisture out. If you ever heard somebody say, oh, I rode in this really hard rain, sucked a bunch of water into my intake, my bike cut out. It wasn't the water in the intake. Water got in around your spark plug boots and they shorted out to the engine case. Dielectric grease will prevent that from happening because it will keep the moisture out. But push your spark plug boot down on there. You'll feel it kind of click down into place. Push the rubber grommet around it, and ta-da! You're done. That's it. Repeat the process for the other side. To reinstall the tank on this thing, make sure your little rubber grommets are right here and installed. You're going to want to take the tank, line up the front, and then slide it on going forward like that. When you set it down, it should sit in place back here. Now, before you go hook anything up, I highly recommend you hook all the lines up first. Sometimes you have to jiggle the tank around. Having the tank unbolted will make the whole process a whole lot easier. So we'll put our vacuum line here on there. Move our clamp up. Take our fuel line. Hopefully slide it right up on there. There we go, just like that. Take our needle nose pliers. Give it a little pull, make sure it's on there. Seems like it is. And from there, you can take your tank bolts on the back, get both of them started in there. And from there, you can torque your tank bolts to spec. After that, take your overflow line here and put it back on just like that. There you go. Then pop your side panel on, rubber grommets back there, rubber grommet up front, and of course this little bolt and washer right down there. And of course install this little bolt and washer right down here. Come on, you fucker. So now the seat's off. You see how when you turn this thing, it moves this whole assembly here. If your wiring harness has moved and been difficult, if this little latch here breaks or anything's rusty and cruddy, it's going to be hard to get to that. Now when you put the seat back on, remember, these clips here latch into these, this little hook right here, that latches into these little brackets there. So when you go to put it back on, put the front in first. This little plastic tab has to go into this little hole right here. Slide that in there, slide it forward, slide it all the way forward. And you can just push it down, but I like to take a little pressure off the latch. So we'll turn the key, don't force it. Push down, lean on it with your forearm. Just like that. Lift up on the back end of it. If it comes off, you did it wrong. If it doesn't come off, you did it correctly. So, there you have that.